in the bottom right, in the blue, our Finnish player. He is
ENCE Esports, Serral.
The reigning champion of the world, and also the reigning champion of GSL versus the world. Looking for repeat victories. This guy looking to upset his run right here in the round of 16. Can he do it though? In the red, he is.
Splice, TY.
Still has that crowd.
Yep.
Tons of
TY fans out there.
Myself included.
Both these guys, you know, they were raised on StarCraft. They've been playing it since they were very, very young. You know, with the StarCraft franchise being 21 years old now,
wow, really?
It's kind of crazy. Oh, there's Serral's brother right in the middle of the audience.
Bro Tosser. Blast from the past.
But, you know, he was raised on this, and TY's dad introduced him at a very young age to playing StarCraft. So we're kind of at that phase now in StarCraft history where young kids are getting raised to become badass killers. As RTS adults.
Yeah, I mean, TY overtook his father in StarCraft skill, and actually, you know, Serral's brother on camera right there actually used to be better than Serral back in the day as well, which is hard to process.
Sometimes
imagining Serral being worse than anyone right now is kind of hard to mentally picture.
You kind of need a friendly foe, right? It's someone who you can make a rival and eventually overcome.
Pretty quick second gas here for TY. So that usually means he wants to shoot up that tech tree pretty quickly.
Yeah, TY's actually brought a pretty incredible range of play here. Keep in mind, he's been very busy casting.
Yes.
You know, we've had a lot of studio days down here. So it's really cool to see that he's got such a well-refined, dynamic approach. He has so many different builds and strats that he's bringing here. He clearly prepared very hard for this series.
And he's going to go for a Marine opening here instead of the Reaper opening, so by the looks of things. So sort of taking away the power of the early game scout and just sort of playing a little blindly here. But it does mean that you are very likely going to be able to push back any early Overlord from the Zerg, and also, obviously, you're relatively safe against Lings as well. So, bit of a different opening here for TY, but really, it's, you know, apart from that really, really early gas, he's, well, not really, really early gas, but a couple supply earlier, he is playing relatively standard. Serral, he's scanning the map right now, looking for any particular proxied structure.
And I think that's the, you know, he's got to do that, right? TY has shown that he's absolutely not afraid to take risks or try to get in his opponent's face. And we now have the second factory being made.
So here's where that second gas was going, Tasteless. He wanted to get a second factory nice and early. We've seen Time actually do something similar to this against Serral. Didn't work out for him. It did find a little bit of damage, but Serral did hold on. And even without being scouted, actually, Serral managed to hold on. But this could potentially be one of those early game, you know, you push with a couple Cyclones and a handful of Hellions, and really trying to upset the early game plan of the Zerg. But we'll see if it's the same variety. But two factory pushes, definitely very scary.
Yeah, this is kind of an economic tempo build. You want to come in there as Zerg is trying to develop, interrupt the mining, start to kill workers, and sometimes this can end up landsliding, or snowballing, I should say.
Yeah, definitely.
The question is, though, is Serral going to be ready? Because sometimes we see Terrans do this and it totally doesn't work.
Yeah.
And they just like don't have any of the right tools to let the game progress.
Yeah, certainly. Now, we are seeing the starport tucked away in the top left here. Yeah, waiting to see what comes out of that one, and it is going to be a tech lab. All right,
okay.
So TY is going to go for what we're talking about here. This is what Time did against Serral on Kairos Junction, actually, in that series from Assembly Summer, from Summer Assembly. That early blue flame push, so very, very anti-Ling, anti-drone. If Serral gets Roach Warren up in time, he's going to be just fine, but just Lings and Queens, it's a little bit risky to try and hold on. He has done it before, but it is very, very tough.
The sooner Serral spots us, the better. That is like just out of range.
Yeah. But the starport's not the hugest tell here. The hugest tell is the second factory. But, oh, that Roach Warren's coming up for Serral. If he gets a good number of Roaches out, he should be just fine here.
Okay, he's faking this.
Starts and stops it there, unfortunately. So
yeah,
Serral does, I think, see that.
And so that's one of those little mind games there. You're trying to abuse the fact that the tech lab has an animations. You're trying to throw them off. Because anything you can do to disguise what your true intentions are in an RTS game is probably going to give you a lead, especially against top-tier players. So, the Overlord is just moving back, but the Hellions are going to be coming forward here as Blue Flame is nearing completion.
And Serral's going to have to get a good number of Roaches out here to make sure that this defense is as clean as possible. Like I said, just having Lings against a bunch of Blue Flame Hellions, definitely not what you want to be as a Zerg. And here come those Roaches for Serral. TY does actually start Cloak here, as the first Liberator is going to come across the map to join in with these Hellions. The Lings are going to see that Blue Flame, and Serral's going to have to pull everything way back, rely on the Queens and the Roaches to get the damage done here and stop these drones from dying, and also pre-splitting those workers as well.
Oh, I love how he pre-split that. And then TY said, okay, I'm going to go elsewhere. Now, obviously, the Queens are the one thing the Hellions can't really engage.
Oh,
okay.
These drones are stacked up a little bit, Tasteless.
Oh, this is actually pretty nice splitting here by Serral, considering 12 drones killed so far with plenty more Hellions out there.
Yeah, he's found a good bit of early game damage. TY definitely having a bit of an economic lead at the moment. The Zerg hit pretty hard. Serral does hold on. Oh, the Liberator. Serral needs to get that Queen out of there. Needs to move that Spore as well. Nice little choke point here for those Hellions, but the Roaches are out. Now, does Serral drone up as a response to losing all these drones, or does he go for something aggressive? He does have a lot of units.
Yeah,
I guess it's tough with that Banshee, though.
Yeah. So that Liberator was shot down here. Hellions are going to come out again. Now, there's more Roaches here. And I think this might be a little bit tougher to try to come in here and do damage, but with already... Oh, nice block there as well. Only 1 point of access right now for TY. By the way, TY is about to finish that 3rd command center. We're going back into mech play that's really intended to focus on a later game push. We know that because tanks are being made.
Certainly are, and hyper flat rotors with the emphasis on hype. So some speedy Banshees are going to be out there on the map, which are really cool. You don't see them too often in this matchup, unless the Zerg's usually going Swarm Host or something like that. And this is actually something that TY really loves to use in TVZ. So this is something a little bit special. I love this.
And this is a smart move, because when you're meching up like this, you're going to be staying back. 2 more starports coming down here.
Yep.
When you're meching up like this, besides the Hellions that we see harassing here, the tanks can't do anything until you get a very high number of them. So having the speedy Banshees to dart around the map and pick off anything they can find is really handy.
Absolutely. So TY is switching to a heavy Sky Terran production. He has not been scouted by Serral just yet. He had that Overlord come on in, but it did get picked off. These Roaches are doing a nice job zoning away those Hellions. Obviously, with that Evo chamber up the top of the ramp, there is, like you said, only 1 entrance for TY. Oh, he does get in, and he gets another line of drones here. Uncharacteristic mistake from Serral leaving that opening there.
Yeah, it looks like he handled it pretty well. That last volley not going to get off. So, 4 drones. Obviously, you don't want to lose any drones, but 4 is something you can absolutely live with.
Now, Serral actually might start making Swarm Hosts here, and TY is going to be very happy to see that, because he is getting the exact tool, or one of the best tools you can possibly get to deal with them. And it's a ton of really fast Banshees. So there is +1 range here for Serral, so Swarm Hosts do benefit from that upgrade.
Okay, Terran is taking the 4th base, and taking that is so important here, because that's really when the economic engine kicks in for the Terran mech. And you could stay on 4 bases for an incredibly long period of time.
Definitely.
And try to branch out and hit different locations. Serral seems intent on trying to stay, as far as expansion growth, in his quadrant. The shape of this map, you're just going to try to stay in your corner and power up, because you know that this push is going to be coming later on. Now, we got a Nidus coming here, Maynarde, and there's some Swarm House coming. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Do you think TY is going to be ready for this?
Well, I mean, considering he's making a lot of speedy Banshees, I think so. I mean, the thing is, the Nidus Worm with the Swarm Host, you'll never see one without the other anymore.
Yeah.
But it is such a strong strategy, and you really need to keep on top of them. He is, yeah. You got to get rid of that map vision.
Yeah.
But speedy Overlords, they're very, very annoying to pick off.
Okay, the Banshee harass is going to come in here now. And, right now, Serral actually defends that pretty damn easily.
Yeah, not too bad.
You
very,
need
very
a few
nice.
more than that. And where's it going to be?
Well, the Swarm Hosts usually have the Nidus on the outside rather than in the main. You don't really want to put the Swarm Hosts in the main base of the Terran, because then you can just lose them all.
Yeah, then they just die.
Yeah, you want to launch those Locusts from a safe distance.
I was curious if he was going to put in the center left or the top center, but instead, yeah, it's going to be in the top center. He's going to try to volley down that location.
Oh, wow. As I say that, there's one in the main.
We've also seen Serral experiment with double Nidus here.
Yeah. Still just has the 1. Locust being pushed out here, and he wants that 3rd base, wants that mineral line.
We need to see if TY actually knows that that's there, because sometimes the second Nidus will catch even the best players in the world off guard. So he's going to come in here now. He is going for... Oh, that's so sick.
The armory's going down is actually huge here, Tasteless. No upgrades.
Serral's like, I know this exactly. That's exactly how many Swarmers you need from this distance to exactly kill the 2 armories. I am the greatest player of all time.
Really good stuff there from Serral, getting those armories. So it slows down the growth of TY by a lot.
Yeah. Oh, this is like a bad dream for Terran right now.
No, this is devastating.
This is like one of those dreams you're like trying to run away from a monster, but you can't move,
This is really cool from TY, by the way. Like, yes, the Locusts are coming down. They are going to get some ground damage. They won't be hitting the mineral line, thankfully, for TY. But we've actually, I see TY stream a lot. He likes to go really heavy into Viking production and air Terran, and then get like smart servers eventually to make those Vikings land really quickly and kind of be like a ground marine unit for a little bit. And it has, mixed results. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of Vikings, obviously, TY owns the skies right now. But Serral's making the right decision. He had Aspire, but he's switching gears and he's getting Hydralisks. And I think Hydralisks with some Vipers certainly could be a great late game tool for Serral, but those Vikings definitely need to be respected.
Okay. I love the approach here by Serral, by the way. This is such a withdrawn, easy way to approach this, you know? You're just basically taking a super long pole and just jabbing him with it over and over. And he can come in here, and there's so many key structures that he can deny. Look at this. Canceling the command center. And I think we're going to see Serral very slowly begin to grow out on the map. You know, when this is happening, there's really no way to deny creep tumors that easily. A lot of times the Banshees are being used in a very defensive way because 4 bases is a lot of area for Terran to defend, especially against Nidases that can literally pop up anywhere.
And these Vikings are really just killing every single Overlord, so Serral actually has to use creep vision here to get a Nidus Worm out, which isn't as close as he would like with the Terran. These speedy Banshees and the Vikings in tandem are actually being very, very annoying.
Yeah.
And he is going to go for Great Aspire, even against this Viking count. And with the Vipers, that certainly could happen. He gets a great parasitic bomb on those Vikings. TY doesn't land them or split them well. They die pretty quickly.
Okay. Again, the Swarm Host just continuing to keep Terran on the defense.
Where are these Locusts going there? Oh, over here. Okay. All right.
I'm going to get this tank, Maynard. Watch this.
I really want this tank. Maybe
Oh,
those
no,
tanks
he
in the back
doesn't.
look pretty good as well.
What do you want?
Yeah, he's going to try and get the back
I'm going
line.
to get some of these. Okay.
Right. I think he got 2 tanks there underneath the Liberators. That's not bad. It's always nice to get damage with those Locusts. Damage for nothing, really.
So now we've got Hydras and Ravagers out here. Again, you know, Terran's not dying, but Terran is certainly not able to grow any further. I mean, look at these Swarm Hosts coming out, the Hydras, the Ravagers. Do you see Terran easily getting another base? I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, he's been trying to get this 5th for a while here, and like the Roaches, the Locusts, everything from Serral, these Nidus Worms, have been slowing that down for sure. Serral trying to go up for a 6th hatchery up to the north. The Banshees are on top of it, though. And now with the Hydras in here and the Swarm Hosts together, the Banshees don't really get that free Nidus pickoff, just as they would have liked before.
Well, okay.
Oh, okay. No,
it's for a repair here, I think. Or no, maybe that.
No, I think that was actually maybe a misclick.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a man or mule. He's not like,
He's like,
you're totally hitting me with Swarm Hosts everywhere.
So dead.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so 7 SCVs killed there. Look at the creep just grow out here.
Yeah, it's looking nice. The right side's left a little bit to be desired.
Anymore, and TY's going to look like he's in the single-player campaign. He's got to like slowly push out across the map and kill all the Zerg stuff.
Yeah, he has to survive for 30 minutes until the battle cruiser comes.
And on the very corner of the map is Serral Kerrigan just laughing at him. Hey, remember that scene in the campaign? There's a couple of them where Kerrigan like calls in, and she's like talking smack to Jim Raynor. You ever think that there actually has to be an invested Zerg cameraman at that moment? Actually feel like, okay, Sarah, we're going live in 3, 2.
They do such a good job.
I always
of
crack
framing
up thinking about that moment.
I never thought of that, Tasteless.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a bunch of production Zergs back there, you know, making sure this all goes well, because Sarah's going to be really mad if it doesn't work out. Oh, we got the Swarm Hosts coming in here again.
I'm trying to get some of the production here, and even split up the Locust, going for that worker line and the production. Getting a starport here would be really nice, and he has to lift that if he wants to save it. There we go, so it does get lifted. And these Nidus Worms, even though TY seem to have every tool he needed, they've really been fighting so much damage here for Serral. He's killed 19 SCVs. Serral still 70+ workers, and he hasn't really been dipping too far further than that. It's like looking really good for Serral still.
This is amazing play by Serral. He's now got the center right. He's just throwing down massive amounts of spores because you can.
Yeah, why not?
You know, you have a ton of drones, but you need anti-air here. And I think if this keeps up, we're going to see TY get entombed into the upper left corner of the map.
Well, these Banshees getting yoinked by those Vipers into the Hydra Ball, and that's very, very tough. Like, the Banshees do have the speed advantage, so they will escape, but Serral's getting to that part of the game that TY really wanted to avoid. He does not want to have to deal with Infestors. These Infestors do have pathogenic lands, so they do have a good bit of energy to be able to fight right away. Well, Serral losing a Viper or 2 there, but TY is having his Viking count really thinned out here. It's making 4 at a time, though. That's a lot of Viking production for TY.
Okay, these Banshees, they need to get this work done. They need to take out some of these key locations. How many minerals are actually left here in those 4 main locations that he had?
For Serral or for TY?
For TY, because, you know, the thing about the thing that is eventually going to become possibly a game-ending problem here for TY is he's not going to be able to get more bases. He's going to be mined out. There's actually no reason for Serral to necessarily try to have a killing blow here. He just wants the sand to run out of the hourglass.
Yeah, I mean, King's Cove is one of those games where a lot of the time, if the players are closely matched like TY and Serral are, it will get to the ultra late game where TY is going to have to rely on nuke harassment to try and hit the drone lines and hit the economy of Serral. We saw Innovation do this very successfully against Serral yesteryear, and we're going to see if TY can get it done now as he drops his extra Ghost Academies to get nuke harassment and Ghost production happening for him. More Locusts coming in from Serral, looking for more and more damage. The air army of TY really is quite monstrous. Oh, the Swarmhosts are burrowed here, so they are avoiding death.
Oh,
luckily,
nice.
No detection here in TY's army.
Yeah, he can leave those there for a while. Now we have Serral actually pushing up here towards 12 o'clock. Oh, it takes out the Banshees.
That's always nice.
That was one of the only things that TY really had going for him. I love how the Nidus immediately restarts.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as one comes up, another one is ready to take its place. That's for damn sure. They are only 50 minerals and 50 gas. Speedy Banshee's coming in here looking for a little bit of damage. That hatchery is actually still bruised from earlier when he's trying to transfuse it to keep it up. If you get a fumble down here in these Banshees, oh, TY doesn't really want to lose these. Oh my God.
By the way, just to go big picture here, everybody, I know it looks like Terran could expand towards the bottom left or the upper right. Actually, really, Terran can only expand towards the top.
Kind of, yeah.
It's a lot harder to actually get that one base in the lower left and hold it.
Yeah, it's a little bit too far away from your fourth base for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to get down there with the rest of your army if you have to defend it.
Certainly.
So we really want to watch growth that reaches towards the upper right. But it does appear that 12 o'clock is completely secured here. I mean, I don't see any room to try to push in there.
Yeah, that one's looking pretty comfortable. It's just that Serral's Nidus Worm's been popping up here next to it, so like the 12:30 base. And we do see that the Banshees are finding a bit more damage. They do get that hatchery. And there's another Nidus Worm, which TY's on too early, so this one shouldn't find too much damage. So after he clears this up and tries to get his air army to rotate around here, maybe he can start to expand in that direction. He has found a lot of command centers. But you generally don't want planetaries too far, you don't want orbitals to be too far out there.
TY again in this for the long run. We're getting to the most advanced tech that you can have in the game, basically. I mean, this is supreme late game TVZ. And
parasitic bomb there on those Banshees.
Looks like one Banshee's going to go down. By the way, we're actually going back into infantry upgrades, everybody. You guys might have been like, what happened? It's 17 minutes and 1-1's done for infantry? What game is this? Right now, TY is getting every possible upgrade for everything because this is not going to revert away from being crazy.
No, and it gives the Ghosts a little bit of an edge. So all these Ghosts that he's investing into right now, they do a little bit more damage. They have a little bit more longevity against the damaging units of Serral, and they do a little bit more A-move damage as well. Obviously, you've got to rely on snipes and EMPs for the main brunt of the damage.
Being able to snipe from afar is so important.
And there is Nuke number one. Good job, Shine.
It's that part of the game where we're nuking everywhere.
And TY is so good at this. Really great Terrans have actually started to do
so
well in the late game. No, Serral,
no.
Okay. Woo.
Okay, that was about to.
Yeah, we were getting ready to say hi, Retta. But yeah, that's the beginning of the nukes here, and that's definitely not going to be the end. We're going to see lots of nukes from TY and Serral. TY said actually that he thinks Serral's a little bit too good at dealing with nuke harassment. We'll see if that's going to be the case here. It
is such a unique problem to have, is when the map is entirely covered to figure out where the nukes are going to be. Because if you notice, especially in the older days of StarCraft 2, people would try to nuke high-value targets, like where the army actually is, or like where the fresh expansion is. But now, nukes are oftentimes put in sort of, more random locations like those spores, because there's a chance that Serral might just end up running under that when the panic happens.
Well, Serral just got a great bit of damage done to the economy of TY while you're saying that, Tasteless. Like, he just killed a fresh command center flying off to another expansion location. That command center, that orbital, went down very easily. Serral has so much lava. We just had Shine show us there. He's got 99 lava and almost 10k in the bank and almost 5k gas as well. Serral can remake his army twice fold here.
Okay, once again a nuke here. This is kind of the point where Zerg could try to push in. Good kill there, and actually takes out both Ghosts very easily.
Yeah, this is looking like it's getting a little bit tough for TY. He hasn't found too much damage in the late stage game. Serral on burrows and fungles. Those Banshees are going to chain down a few of them here as well.
So good.
Really nice catch from Serral. Nice ambush with those burrowed infestors. Very good stuff.
By the way, guys, just to go big picture again here, we have 10k minerals for Serral, almost 5k gas. Serral will soon take that and use it, use compound interest there. Okay, and then be able to make Zerg units forever. I mean, he has such a high disposable income.
TY has got nothing out of these nukes, Tasteless. He killed some changelings, is what he's killed with these nukes,
Tasteless. He killed
two creep tumors, okay? That's not what you want for these 100 mineral, 100 gas investments. You want to be hitting some money shots there. And Serral, I mean, TY was correct. He's been looking way too clean against this nuke harassment part of the ultra late game for TVZ. And TY's economy really has, while it is still a high worker count, the base count, the amount of minerals remaining on the bases that he does have are looking a little thin.
Okay, very big moment here. Terran trying to take this top center location.
The medevac boost upgrade also coming in here for TY.
Yeah. Well, he's just getting everything.
Why
it's
not?
like I need every possible ability, anything I can do. Okay, so that was easily shut down. This is insignificant. The nuke is going to connect, but what's most important is can TY continue to take bases?
Yeah.
There's always the possibility that it looks like Zerg is way ahead and then can't get the closer because Terran actually continued to expand, and then suddenly it's the Zerg's problem because the Zerg mined out more quickly to then try to kill the Terran. And that's the game plan that TY is going for here.
That Ghost is getting spotted here by that Overseer. You can run, but you can't hide. It's going to be able to run out of Cloak Energy in a second here as well. So as Tasteless mentioned, that hatchery is still going to get up even with the nuke landing right on top of it. Does have enough hit points. Lurker's coming into play again. Oh, this time at least the Swarm hosts do get caught and killed there by Serral. But it's that part of the game where you really actually just want a big air army of Serral, a lot of Vipers and a lot of Infestors. And there's that air army, the Broodlords, finding some damage here with those Broodlings. That Planetary getting really low. And it looks like, oh, he's going for the mass repair, but I don't know if this will be enough.
The problem is that he can keep targeting these SCVs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, he actually manages to save it. Nice job.
Yeah, the nuke zoned him out there.
Oh, I actually almost missed the nuke there. I didn't realize it was coming down. So Serral's going to try to have some Nidus worms come in from the back. He's hoping that he can get Terran to try to turn around.
This is really smart from TY. We've seen some Terrans trying to do this in late game, going for some bio transition for some creep spread clearing and some harassment here. But the main fight here is at the front. Oh, Fungal and Tamblewood Parasitic Bomb. These Vikings are all dead. TY, oh no. Oh, it's going to be so much harder for him to deal with those Broodlords now. And in comes some Ravagers and Hydras into the main base of TY where all his production is. TY is not maxed, so getting some of this production would be nice.
You know what's funny is 3-3 is almost done.
Yeah. For the bio, yeah.
Yeah, for the bio. Again, TY, we've got to keep watching this spot at the top. It's like at 12:30 o'clock on the mini-map here because this is where he's able to mine from. I got to say, I'm actually impressed with the SCV balancing that TY's done. He's still got a little bit of minerals left back at home, like over here.
Yeah, third's not quite dry just yet. This Planetary has been where a lot of the action is. TY does have some ghosts here on the front lines, going to try and get some snipes off. The Fungals do interrupt the snipes. It looks like a few of them did connect there with those Broodlords. And Fester's coming forward as well to try and zone things out. And like you mentioned, Tasteless, he's going to keep killing SCVs, and eventually this Planetary will fall. So TY does need to keep reinforcing this worker line. Oh, and the Nidus Worms. He's got to play whack-a-mole with the Nidus Worms while holding the front line, while dealing with the extremities of his infrastructure with Serral's run-bys as well. Serral still choke-holding TY, but if TY gets enough ghosts up, if he manages to get some harassment done on the outside of the map as well with the bio stuff, or whether the ghosts do it, there is a dream where TY can actually tie this up.
Okay, again, another attack in. He's getting so low.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he gets it. Now, again, that's the cash cow right now for TY, is to mine from that location. And I think what we're going to see next, if I'm seeing this correctly, is TY is going to try even further to claim this location, in which case that army that's adjacent to our screen here on the right is going to dive on this and absolutely deny the acquisition of this location.
I like this bio play from TY, just try and pull Serral a little bit more, spread him a little bit more thin here, make him break off some army to respect this ball of bio, which does have 3-3 upgrades and certainly will kill his hatchery if nothing comes down and interrupts it. So that's nice from TY, but it doesn't look like Serral cares too much. He's bringing in some lings, but that's not enough.
Okay,
there we go.
I think this counterplay is really smart here. I don't know if it's going to do enough, because Serral is still not hurting on money. I mean, it becomes much less significant when Zerg loses expansions, when Zerg has 10k minerals, 7k gas. So, I mean...
And still so much lava as well. Like, if he does lose army, which he hasn't been, by the way, he can just remake it.
So these SCVs are just being sent out because Terran needs to get more supply here. Terran will probably be more likely to rely on mules right now than SCVs because you need all your supply and army here. Okay, here we go again. An instant denial.
Yeah.
It may be wiser for him to make a command center out of eye shot and then try to land it there because trying to actually construct something there is just too tempting for the Zerg to not attack in.
I'm with you there.
Especially with the price of the CC and the kind of dilemma that Terran's in right now. You really don't want to lose any minerals or gas. Oh my God!
Yeah, these fungals are insane.
Oh.
The fungals getting these tanks, and also the bio there of TY. His bio is looking really inconsequential here at the moment. They are cutting through the broodlings, but the broodlings are free units, and they are doing damage every time they fly out of those broodlords. So TY also out of medevac energy, so his ghosts, his bio, his marines, his marauders are eventually going to just lose their hit points and die. Another fungal from Serral on the Vikings, on the bio as well.
I think Serral might be able to just chew through this position. It's no longer about just trying to be propped in distance of the command center, or where the command center would be. He's now got creep coming here. He's just slowly beginning to close in.
There's a lot of tanks here in a planetary as well, so Serral can't really take that path, but coming in for the right side into this area certainly could be nice. TY's trying to go for the Hail Mary nuke here. If that nuke connects, this could keep him alive, but it doesn't. The ghost goes down. Serral continuing to push forward. TY looking like he's against the rope stasis.
And keep in mind, with the number of larvae that we have here, it looks like Serral's going to continue to produce. And with this huge bank account, it might be possible for Serral to come in here and just smother. GG! Serral.